Folks, we are back here for WrestlePurists. A very late night grin influenced WrestlePurist, right? Like Jay Shell, myself. You know, you're a grinner, as we know. You don't want to admit to that publicly. But nonetheless, it's Wednesday. You know what that means, right? We are here to hopefully guide you all into Dynamite in a nice kind of, fun manner. We have some big topics. We have some news, so on and so forth. Jay Shell, you and I just did some stuff over on the Grin. How are you doing this evening? I know the answer, but the people may not.
I'm in a great mood. I flexed my traps earlier. It was a great experience. I'll do it again. Hold on.
Okay, your internet's working. That's been why I actually be able to see it. look at the facial expression.
I can't.
Like an 80s wrestler. Yeah.
Wait,
okay, that's fair. You said you're in a great mood.
Yeah.
Is that a direct result of doing a show with me, or is that just sort of like...
No, I'm accomplishing a lot of things today. People will soon see.
Factual. But enough about your contract of NXT 2.0. Montel Vontavious Porter, the man himself, at WrestlePurists. How are you doing this evening, pal?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Yeah. The night after NXT, it is what it is.
Was it like you assume like recovery position or something?
I mean, pretty much.
Honestly,
that double hitter of Raw and NXT, it can be tough. To not to cut you off or anything, but last night when I was doing the NXT results, it made me tap out.
Results anymore?
Yeah, it got me to that point. So, quick announcement just to start us off. After this week, stopping the live results until we sort out how we get ourselves ranking on Google and stuff. Because literally, like 99.99% of our traffic comes through Twitter. It doesn't really hit on Twitter the way it does on Google. It's not really worth my time, especially when I'm punishing myself, dragging myself through these shows, and it's tough.
So, for those of you that, there's a lot of technical terms there for those of us in the business. But for those of you that were unsure of what that meant legitimately NXT was so wild last night that it has made Monty change the whole structure of how he approaches moves. That's what happened. He can explain it how he wants, but we know the deal. Folks, if you're watching this and you've enjoyed the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds, give us one of those thumbs up because we're lagging behind on the thumbs. Have you seen that? Filth. Come on, folks, do us a favor. Throw one of those thumbs up. Let's get into it. You mentioned NXT. I wasn't going to start here, but it actually feels natural. You are the expert in this regard on this panel. Folks, do not leave. We're going to spend very little time on this, but we wanted to talk NXT very quickly. It was last night. It is apparently on national television. Monty, how was the show?
Was what it was, No, it's just NXT. It's just literally what you'd expect from NXT 2.0 at this point. It was wacky. It wasn't. It opened up with Nikita Lyons versus Lash Legend.
It opened with that.
It opened with Nikita Lyons, like a slow pan upper, like the sexy slow pan that they're trying to do with Mandy Rose all the time. That's how the show opened.
On Twitter of them running the ropes and like doing a shoulder tackle thing, and it did not look good. Like
that's
when you see somebody run the ropes and it looks like they're physically in pain while doing it. That's what it looked like.
The thing is, and I know we're having fun here. I know you know this, Jay Shell, but I do genuinely feel bad for them because it's like you shouldn't be wrestling on TV at that point in your experience level.
17.
From what I heard, their first match went pretty well. This one did less so. So
somebody asked me to do a British accent in the chat. You're gonna have to pay me some money if you want to see me do that.
Wow, fair. Okay.
No, I'm dead serious.
What if someone goes to your Patreon and that's like their patronage note? British accent, please.
If they want that, then if they're already giving me money, that's fine.
Okay, fair. Monty, give me a highlight from the show. I assume, from what I've gathered, there were a handful of lowlights. What would you say would be a highlight?
Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar having a sit down next week. Pops me huge.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean a sit down like a business?
Having like a mafia sit down next week.
Oh fuck! I'm watching. All right, I'm watching. I'm 100% watching that. Okay, show your hands raised.
I would like to respond to a comment. I do, in fact, know that the ring ropes hurt. My friend Lily is training, currently, and
Lily the doll, the one that Alex has.
Joe, stop it.
See, this is where, folks. That literally is a bit just for Monty. That was pre-show,
Okay.
Yep.
But I'm saying if you see wrestlers who have more time in the ring, the ropes don't hurt them as much. So when it's people who are newer to working in the ring, you can obviously see it on their face. That's all that I was saying.
I know. I get you. I think you had another highlight to list there, Monty. Go ahead. Well, if you didn't, then just
did
tell
I?
us, it seemed like you were going to have another go at it, but if you don't want to,
Nah, genuinely, it's like, oh, Roderick Strong gave Diamond Mine a talking to. I thought that would be.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back, but he didn't really go anywhere.
No,
obviously, he stopped off in the UK and done a couple matches. Did he do even? Was it just one match, or
he
did he do more?
worked
I can't remember.
Wolfgang, and then he did the title match. He did two. So, and they did like a sit-down segment that was, you get what you
went
get.
on excursion.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's just a little stop off. But yeah, he's back. Gave him a talking to. Viking Raiders are going to face the Creed Brothers next week as well, I think.
I don't like the Viking Raiders.
Hang on a second.
Wow.
It's not be hasty here. Did you say the Viking Raiders are going to wrestle with the Creed Brothers next week?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling me we're getting that alongside the sit-down meeting?
Yeah. They're doing it as they're doing like a special. They're doing like a TV special. It's called Spring Breaking. So they're going to try like load it up, at least a little bit.
Lock in, folks. Maybe a review.
Yeah, strap in.
Maybe a review ahead on this very channel. You never do that. Sounds intriguing to me. I love the Creed Brothers. I do want to quickly make note because it's the only thing I saw. It's not a take. It's been the brand of hers for a while now. The kind of prodigy term that we've often given Roxy on our Roxanne.
I stole it.
It is striking how natural she immediately feels on their TV. That match was, there was some issues with it. We don't need to get into here, but her performance, I thought she was pretty admirable in that one. What do you think, Monica?
Yeah, she was. She was smooth. She done what she could with Mandy Rose, which is, I tip my hat. Like I said, she didn't do anything too damning, and it was, it was pretty much a solid second match. It was her first big match. I think it's a second match. So, man, all power to her. She's obviously, a prodigy. She's how old? 21, 20?
Yeah.
20.
So,
technically, she's just way ahead of what you'd expect.
She's good.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, definitely. She if you watch her in the context that you've heard of her through hype on Twitter or whatever about her age, and when you tune into her, as long as you've got she's still only 20 or however old she is, you'll be impressed, in my opinion, anyway.
Absolutely. Okay, folks, there you go. If you're a big fan of NXT 2.0, next week I may have some takes. I'm intrigued by the advertised segments that Monty has shared here. Now, in other news, let's look ahead here, even if briefly. Folks, we don't want to spend too long doing a kind of direct preview of Dynamite because we're aware that a lot of people are going to watch this tomorrow. And, I don't want to make an idiot of myself by predicting everything wrong. But let's kind of just talk broadly here. There's a match that I think we're all very excited about. Jay Shell, are you fired up for Dynamite tonight?
I'm as fired up as I could be for Dynamite. I've been kind of petty going into Dynamite recently because my women's stuff. But, the match is going to be really good. I'm very excited for Dax and Cash. I'm excited to see what the result is more so than the match, which is odd because I'm extremely excited for the match. But I'm very intrigued to see how this Wardlow Archer match goes as well. Because I don't really recall seeing Wardlow work with anybody as huge as Archer before. So very exciting.
If you were to guess, how long do you think that match is going to go? And then how long do you think it should go, Wardlow and Archer?
I'm not good with match times.
It's interesting,
Can you give this to MVP, please?
Yes, MVP. How long do you think Archer and Wardlow is going to go? And how long do you think it should go?
I don't know. They're going to do a lot of shenanigans, aren't they? Of course they are.
Do you think?
I don't know. I think not even if it's not shenanigans, it'll be like MJF will come out before and it'll be like an entrance. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it won't just be the match. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily like shenanigans leading to the finish or anything like that. But there'll be like other stuff in that segment. So I actually don't think the match will be too long. I think it'll be under 10. I think it should be in that area, 8 to 12. 12 might be stretching it a bit. It depends how they go about it, I suppose, because they could just do a big man sprint, which, you know, you could get out of there in 6 and pop me, to be honest.
Yes.
So, you know, they've got options, and hopefully they pick one of the right ones.
Archer is, I think, a good enough pro that I think we're willing to let it play out if it's a 12-minute match, right? Like, I don't think any of us are hand waving it, but I do tend to agree with you. I think it's best to be kind of on the other end of that scale. The 8-minute spot, I think, is a good call. Elsewhere on Dynamite, we have some. In fact, before we do that, Monty, I want to give you a chance to talk about Cash and Dax, because I know, you know, like a lot of us, big FTR fan, it's a match that if it didn't feel immediately huge as soon as they threw the graphic up, I think they've sure painted the picture over the last week, right? The fabulous road to, so on and so forth. Where are you at, man? How fired up you were, you know, within 2 hours of it here? What do you think?
Easily the most anticipated match for me today. Yeah. I think I'll share that opinion with most people, to be honest. Yeah. It has that extra special feel as well at the moment because they are on a really hot streak at the moment. So it's like it feels perfect the way that it's all aligned together. And, you know, obviously, of course, with it being the Owen Hart tournament as well, it's not like they're just facing each other. It's it's for the Owen Hart. So, you know, obviously it's hard to say something that hasn't already been said. Like, come on, we know what it's going to be pretty much. The result will be very interesting. I'm starting to lean in recent hours towards Cash.
A lot of people are. Yeah.
I'm leaning toward, like, in the past few hours, I'm kind of leaning towards it. I think I've had too much time to think about it, and I'm like, Dax wants to put over his buddy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I'm fired up for it. I can't lie. Like I said, the form that they're on at the minute obviously adds to it as well. It's just, it feels perfectly aligned right now.
I think as wrestling fans, there's a lot of good wrestling now, but it's always cool when you get something that you get the sense maybe talked about many years down the line. I think we're all pretty confident of FTR's legacy as a tag team already. Give them another 2-3 years, I think we're pretty cocksure they're going to be one of the greatest tag teams ever. They may already be. This feels like it's going to be a moment in time, right? I mean, Dax has said, and this is it. This is the one time we're doing this match. It's in the Owen Hart tournament, as you said. It's on Dynamite. It feels like it's going to be something that's, you know, pointed to as just another signal of how great these guys are. Can't wait for it. I'm completely with you. Okay. Elsewhere.
Ladder match.
We have the ladder match between Sammy and Scorpio. We have the 10-man tag, which, no comment. And we have the Philadelphia Street Fight, Serena and Shida. They've not added anything today, right? As far as I know.
The JAS and Eddie face-to-face.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know it was happening. So this staying
in
the ring.
Tony announced it like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, there you go. So we'll get to that in a second. But first, it's just quickly, those 3 matches I listed. Which one are you most looking forward to of those 3, Joshua? What, the ladder, the 10-man, and the Philadelphia Street Fight?
Ladder.
Honestly. Okay.
I have faith in Scorpio.
Do you think Scorp's got a shot of winning?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, I meant like to have a good match.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think they're going to rock it, actually. I think there's a lot of worries about Sammy, but I don't have a lot of concerns about him in a ladder match. Monty, what stands out for you of those 3 matches?
I'm interested to see what Serena Deeb and Shida are going to do, to be honest, because obviously they've had that many singles matches, etc. already. Yeah. It's just like, you know, now that they're making it a street fight, I do wonder how that, you know, how that fits in with their chemistry.
I swear to God, just not the blow off.
No, it will be.
So, you remember the thing that I did earlier when we were talking about the mixed tag match?
Factual, yes. Is this like the most 2 wrestlers have wrestled each other in singles matches in AEW? It feels like it has to.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
I really hope they kill it, man. At this point, we've all talked about this topic.
Actually, that Tay Bunny and Penelope Ford feud was
that was
crazy.
Long too.
Crazy.
Because of they was able to like different combinations. It went on for a long time. But they could switch out, like, you know, do a tag. They switch the opponents, but yeah, I think singles. This is it.
Yeah, probably.
I really hope they rock it, man. I mean, I don't think any of us have any doubt about them 2 as wrestlers. They're 2 of the great wrestlers in the promotion, but like, I just want the audience to be with it, you know? And if they're not, that isn't on them, to be very clear. But like, I just want it to feel like it should. They've been feuding now for like 6 months, you know? Jay, show your hand is raised.
I saw a take on Twitter about somebody saying that Tony isn't going to send cold wrestlers out to a cold audience. And I was like, why are these wrestlers cold? Maybe because, one, how long has this feud fucking gone on, dude?
A long time.
I want somebody to do the math on how many months this feud has gone on. I'm going to figure out.
Their first match was in Philly, so they're ending it where it was a while back, for sure.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's too long. But two, you give women 30-second promos in fucking video packages and expect them to be hot? Fuck off, dude. Sorry, I'm swearing already.
October was when it started. So
Sheeta always gets pops and stuff anyway, though. So
yeah, Sheeta's gonna be
good. Does, to be fair.
The thing is, the audience likes a lot of the women, so they react to them coming out and stuff. But there's a lack of like true heat, you know. Like when they, to me, a good way to register heat is, and this is one of the more nerdy things I've said, but we're sticking to it. You know, when the first bell rings, you can get a good gauge on excitement from the reaction then, because at that point, you're letting the kind of emotion and the build up set in. The perfect example would be Danielson and Omega at Arthrash, right? It's the extreme example. Do you remember when the bell rang and people popped and stood up and said, "This is happening"? What happens a lot with women is they pop for the entrance because they like women, but they don't have an investment in the stories for the reasons Jay Shell just perfectly laid out. The short promos, this, that, and the lack of angles. So then it slowly kind of fades and they have to bring them back for the final stretch. There's just a lack of true investment. And this feud has not solved that. I just hope they work so damn hard that they kind of win them over anyway. And I think they could. They're both great wrestlers. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're all looking forward to Dynamite, right? I mean, obviously, it's clear that we have one hook, especially, but I think it looks like it's going to be another good show, I think. So we'll cover that, folks, in a review form tomorrow. I'm sure. Monty, you're going to do a review, right? I'm going to do one tonight, I know, but like you'll get our opinions on it pretty soon is the point, right? So Dynamite.
Question.
Yes?
Is there any chance that we get like a surprise Kushida match or something here? Or
tonight?
Does he have... Oh, well, not even tonight. Maybe Rampage or something, or like coming soon. I don't know what his contract stuff looks like.
Well, I think he's free. I think he's good to do what he wants. Because I think his contract is expired. Do we have any news on that one? What do we know?
Yeah, expired. Yeah.
Okay.
Expired.
Yeah. So I think. Go ahead.
WWE believe that he's going back to Japan. To the surprise of nobody. It would be cool if he did a little quick indie run before he went back, though.
Yeah, like
a little AEW appearance here and there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see now that they have Ring of Honor too. It feels like guys when they get out of the WWE system will do something under Tony Khan's umbrella. You know, like because it's just one-offs, as you said. It's a different thing. I mean, good lord, we saw Ishii wrestle on Rampage last week, and it felt like just like. Granted, some of that was because of anyway. Okay. Couple news things we were just about Dynamite. Hangman will not be there, unfortunately. Wanted to get this Punk build-up underway. I don't think it was going to happen tonight anyway with Punk on comms, but Hangman's got COVID. Obviously, it's a bummer all around. But any thoughts, Jay Shell, on kind of how you would kickstart this build when, Hangman's back? We'd probably assume, a couple of weeks, right? You would assume. I know things have changed now, so maybe next week. But, they're going to have about a month to build this thing. Any kind of instinctual read, Jay Shell, on what you'd like that build to look like?
I'm going to say this, and people aren't going to like it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not really too excited for this thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've just come to terms with the fact that this version of Punk just isn't for me. And that's okay. Not every wrestler is going to be for me.
You don't have to just punch me straight in the chest, but I feel it.
I'm sorry. It's just how I feel.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Do some cool matches or something with the Dark Order or some shit. I don't give a fuck. Give me Punk John Silver. Who cares?
Montel, since you're slightly more excited, Jay Shell, any read on how you kind of kickstart this thing? You're probably going to be left for 3-4 weeks. Any thoughts on the Punk Hangman program?
It's an interesting program because, it's the first time in a while where it's felt like, who's going to win this one. So it'll be interesting to see what direction they go with. We'll see if we get any of Punk's heel traits coming out during the feud, etc., etc. That'll be probably the most interesting thing for me about it. Seeing how Punk, is with Hangman, pretty much. Yeah, I think JSL shouldn't lash out, but
Agreed.
It's not me lashing out. It's my opinion.
There's an
Lashing
overlap
out.
there sometimes. You can pull, sometimes you could pull those punches, Just hit me straight in the chest, didn't it? No,
I just said I wasn't excited.
I know, I'm playing. In terms of him doing heel stuff, someone said it in the chat. Any chance we get like a little kind of dickhead comment from Punk tonight about Hangman not being there? Any chance you think? It still feels awful in character for Punk to kind of light that fuse a little bit, so to speak. What do you think? Any chance?
Maybe. It's interesting. It would pop me.
You know what's gonna be so funny is we're
Go
gonna
on.
do a review of Double or Nothing, and every show I'm on, I'm gonna have to say, well, I didn't like this match as much as everybody else did. It's gonna be
It's
great.
gonna be brisk.
Well, we'll leave it until we get there.
I'll be totally honest, and people know this because on brand, but like I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty much the match for me at this point.
Yeah.
Like
This is it.
that what I just said about Heat. If you do this correctly, you're going to have one of those deals where the bell rings, people just pop because they can't wait, And you're going to have that atmosphere where like there's Hangman fans that are desperate for him to get more time as champ, and there's going to be Punk fans that are desperate to see him complete this fairy tale. Oh man, to me this is the stuff I like, but I do know that Punk is old, so I understand Jay Shaw's concerns.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, He wrestles. No, he's old school. The way he approaches wrestling,
Yes.
nothing wrong with it. When Adam Cole comes out, I sound like I'm white, and you're a fan. It's just the way it works out. It's balance. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. So this move elsewhere now. Really surprising story today. The inspiration, moving away from pro wrestling altogether. It seems for a little bit, right? Was it in ring competition or was it just kind of more broadly pro wrestling?
I think the word they used was
In
in-ring action indefinitely. So
yeah. So
I got the impression they're stepping away from wrestling, to be honest.
Do they still do their podcast? Do we know?
I'll check.
Probably.
So there probably should be some sort of like longer term. But it caught me way off guard. Montel, your initial reaction to the news?
Yeah, it just caught me off guard. It seemed like it was out of left field. When I was writing up the story for it, obviously I kind of like checked what they've been doing lately, and obviously
Last
they dropped the
episode,
belts. They dropped their belts at, I think it was in March. They dropped the belts in March and had a failed attempt at winning them back recently, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's people like them as well. It's kind of interesting. They obviously must be doing well in other areas to be able to just be like peace out on this.
They're a good example of something you and I talk about a lot, where it's like you can star rate their matches and stuff, and like I actually thought some of their Impact stuff was pretty good, but like I get it, they have their flaws as wrestlers, but like that point you made is an important one for wrestling. People like them. People always liked them, right? Like at times it befuddled me, but they always got over as a comedy act in WWE, and I think they've certainly had careers to be proud of and done good for themselves. Jay Shell, your initial reaction to the news?
Oh, dude. I thought I was, first of all, extremely confused. One, because of how much they talked about wanting to be in a promotion that had tag titles and wanting to work in women's tag team wrestling and raise it up. But I also could understand, they're women. Women want to start families. If that's what they want to do, then I applaud them for that. If that's what they head towards. I mean, they do acting and stuff. They're in acting classes and everything like that. They've talked about their acting aspirations as well. They have an immense amount of personality, so wherever they go, I feel like they'll be great. They have amazing looks too for camera. I just wish them the best. I hope that they succeed in whatever they do next, and I'm definitely going to follow them regardless.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think if not to put a bow on their careers, because I think they're still more than young enough to come back at some point, right? But like, I think people will fondly remember their antics as a team, genuinely. Like the amount. Listen, man, there are very few weeks go by without seeing one of Billy Kay's quips on my timeline doing something or another. So
remember when she had the headshots and she went to everybody, and then she was like a part of Riot Squad, and she did the.
Yeah.
You're not as funny though. I realised it again when I was like writing through the article and I was trying to like try throwing like a cool fact or something. And it sounds really wild to say, but they're probably like one of the most successful female tag teams of like the past 5 years or so.
Yeah.
They're the only women to hold the Knockouts Tag Team Championships and the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And if you remember, they won the WWE Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. And, that was a cool moment, to be fair. I think, like I said, they're not, you're not watching iconic / inspiration for 5-star matches, but they're just likable. They are easily likable, and the fun characters on screen, and good luck to them.
I hope that I think there's pretty good evidence they're doing good for themselves, and that's awesome. I will say, Billy, especially, I think will always have a fair gripe in terms of the timing of her release. In that, brother, they gave her everything they gave her, she made the most of. Yes. Unless we forget, she was on Mania the week of her release. Because she is with Carmella, they teamed her with for that one. You remember she had the resume thing that Jay Shield just mentioned. She got stuff over, man. She swung for the fences on that stuff. I think Peyton and Cassie struggled a little bit more as singles, but
I'm not gonna do it. She did the sexy thing.
Well, there you go. So the point is they did good for themselves, and people will remember their stuff fondly. If they don't come back, but if they do, I'm sure they'll have a spot waiting for them. Okay. Now, we have a big topic, right? And Montel mentioned this to me yesterday when we talked about Riddle. When we were trying
shit out of him.
Am I back? So, best work in WWE was the conversation. I said I would try to come up with a criteria. Now, I did not want to limit us by doing this.
What are we doing? I'm confused.
We're trying to come up with the best wrestler, in-ring performer in WWE, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
So this was my loose outline. I think we should try to include and keep in mind their match catalog in WWE.
Oh, I'm ready for this. I know who I'm
that matters, right? I love Roddy, but I have to concede that he probably has let the look at this rules. I'm sorry. I promise that isn't me. That's our pal. That isn't me.
It's a late night grin burn or something.
So I want to kind of keep in mind match catalog in WWE, current form, babyface and heel range. Have they had great matches on both sides of that fence in WWE? And finally, in-ring versatility, meaning, have they got some genuine variety to their work? Again, we're talking about inside the ropes here. Okay. Now, Monty, you had a list yesterday, didn't you?
Oh, I've got a list. I've done it quickly. Because I forgot people yesterday when we was talking, we forgot about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar genuinely. No, you can choose whoever you want, Jay.
Okay.
We brought up Sasha a lot. Sasha is obviously arguably up there, but there's loads more than Sasha anyway. 1 second, I'm just gonna quickly get this tweet out.
That's fine. Yeah, we were yesterday. Sasha was one that I was kind of circling as in the top spot. I think there's a chance. I really do.
If you didn't say the babyface heel thing, I would have said Bianca.
Yeah, I think with Bianca, it's more a case of she's been prolific from a quality perspective. It feels like she's less polished than some of the names on this list, because she's more raw, which is weird because Mania match-wise, she's outperformed a lot more experienced wrestlers. I just think it shows sometimes. But Bianca's one of those deals where it's she's a star, right? You kind of... To me, I think there's two different lists here, and there'll be some crossover, obviously. I'm looking at the chat. There's some good names in the chat. We'll try to mention everyone you guys are saying.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I'm gonna name a very, very long list of just names that are worth throwing in the hat. And if I miss any, you or Jay Shao can of course point that out. The chat can obviously point that out. So I'm just gonna quickly blitz through it.
And what we'll do is before you say these, what we'll do is Jay Shell, pick out your top three, just off the top of your head from the names of what he says, and I'll do the same. And then we'll try and investigate from there, okay?
Okay, we'll do that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ronnie. Go ahead.
Gunther, Finn Balor, Sheamus, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Riddle, Tyler Bate, Tommaso Ciampa, Roderick Strong, Ilya Dragunov, Io Shirai, Sasha Banks, Asuka, Ricochet, Miko Satomura, Chad Gable, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio.
Firstly, another one of those deals where you get some perspective on how loaded that is, right? That's a lot. There's a lot of names there that we think highly of. Okay. Jay Shell, which names immediately stand out that you'd like to kind of explore here?
Sasha wasn't on that list, but I put Sasha on the list.
Until they did the thing.
Thing, Bob.
The first one that immediately stood out to me was Kevin Owens because I didn't think about him before.
Mm.
I think I have to say Lesnar, like due to his match. What the fuck was I saying? The triple threat match with Cena and Seth. I feel like that always stands out to me. And then I think I would also say Finn Balor because of the NXT stuff.
Okay, let's go through it. So let's start with who's the first name you said? I'm sorry, you said Kevin, Finn,
and then I said Lesnar.
Brock.
Now Brock is fascinating.
Yes,
because I love Brock. Match catalog, we're all confident on Brock, right? He's got enough classics under his belt that we're cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am slightly unsure of where I stand on his form. Now, before I go any further, I want to be very clear here. As a personality and presence on the show, I would argue Brock over the last 6 months is the best he's ever been. I think he was awesome on the show. In ring, that Mania match, I think, hurts his case on the form front, you know?
Yeah.
It was not a bad match, but I think we all wanted it to be an awful lot better, didn't we?
Yeah.
And because he doesn't wrestle on TV, like when he misses in a big spot, it's like, it hurts.
yes.
Babyface or heel, he's fine because he just does suplexes. That could be a thing. Is he, as great as he is, does he lack the variety to top this list? I think we all agree he should be on it. Monty, what's your initial reaction to some of the kind of asterisks I put on there? What do you think?
It's what makes him him, though. Like, he's one-dimensional, you know? He's an explosive suplexing beast machine. So, like, Brock's funny because he throws out, like, I'll throw out the window so many things that I used to, you know, judge other wrestlers on when it comes to in-ring. Like, yeah, he does do the same thing all the time. But it fucking rules every single time. So it's like, and it's Brock Lesnar, and he has that presence, and you know that will probably come up a lot while we're talking about this because that, you know, it helps in ring. Whether that's Brock Lesnar, whether that's Minoru Suzuki, whether that's Gunther. You know, I preferred him when he had tits, but you get what you get. That has hurt his presence, though. It's a shame, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah,
I've seen people on Twitter saying he looks like a tall swimmer. That's not what you want. It's tough.
If we're doing like top guys, Brock obviously has his place right at the top, but like, I think purely in ring, there's too many things working against him, man. I really do, and I you know I love Brock, but like. Brock has wrestled like 7 matches since he came back. It's just thin, man. I don't know. It's hard. Like, there's multi-mans. The one big singles match he had was Mania, and like the chat like that even less than I did. I don't know, man. I think Brock's someone that we all appreciate, but I don't know if this is the list for him at top currently. Currently, that's very important, right?
I don't think any of my answers top the list, to be fair. My answer
that's fine. We're just talking about it.
I'm just exploring other ones.
No, I wasn't shooting. So. I was just, I'm completely with you.
So with Brock, he's even though he doesn't wrestle that often, because he's been around for so long now, even though obviously, you know, we left the one in the UFC and stuff like that as well. But, you know, he goes way back and he has quite a long catalogue of matches when you think about it, especially when you compare it to some of the talents that is left in WWE now that they've done all these releases, etc., etc. People have left to do other things. So people with really extensive catalogues, it's hard to find them, and it really is. When even looking at this list of, like, you know, really great talent, it's tough.
We're going to be hard pressed to find a guy that compares to him on that front. There needs to be a certain level. I just think in some of the other areas, by circumstance alone, he kind of is limited. We'll circle back. Jay Show, you also said Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens is a guy who certainly has a lot of good matches under his belt in WWE. He's a guy who is in great form. You know, someone mentioned in the chat about the Steve Austin match, and Kevin Owens, I think, feels right now as at home in WWE as he has in some time, honestly. Babyface and heel, I enjoy his work more as a babyface, and he's a better promo and character as a heel. I don't think anyone would ever question Kevin Owens' work as a heel. So that part's ticked. In-ring versatility. Dude had a brawl with Steve Austin. Dude can still do some crazy shit that blows your mind for a guy of, his look. He ticks every box. Is Kevin Owens, though, kind of a guy where it's like jack of all trades, master of none? Is he quite elite enough to win this category? Jay Shaw, what do you think? Go ahead, Monty. Jay Shaw was deep in thought, so go ahead.
You say he's not a master of anything, but him and Sami Zayn, I think, are in ways masters of versatility.
Oh, they are.
If that makes sense.
They are.
It's like, how many people could have done that match with Stone Cold at Mania?
See, here's the thing, though.
That was special, man.
Do you not agree that at this point in the game, both Kevin and Sami's actual greatest strengths are outside the ring? And that isn't even a criticism. There's not a criticism.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even like the bad in ring. It's just that like the great characters. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sami's obviously in a different point in his career, but he's still good. Kevin's great. It's just like, remember, we're doing best. We're going to nitpick here, right?
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
If you put up to me all of these guys and said, watch one of their matches, I don't know how high Kevin ranks. I guess he's one. And that doesn't mean he's bad. I don't know. Part of what makes him so valuable is that he can do everything. I just don't know if he's the super worker to kind of lead this this lineup we've got here. But I think we all love Kevin. Jay Shaw, what was you going to say? Go ahead.
I said his name because I love him and I feel like he always stands out whenever I talk in ring stuff. But like, I'm sitting here like racking my brain, like thinking about the last Kevin Owens match that my 5-star matches are nobody else's 5-star matches, and I know that. Mm-hmm. Like my 5-star is sucking Bianca Sasha, and you can suck my dick if you disagree. But I'm I'm struggling to think of the last Kevin Owens match that I would have given 5 stars, and I feel like that's an indictment for me.
He's a guy that I think will reliably give you good to very good matches. I don't think you're necessarily wrong for questioning his high-end stuff. Now, that could be due to booking, but we have, unfortunately, that's part of the game here, right? You can't, it can't be presumption. I love Kevin. I think, who would you have higher, Brock or Kevin Owens?
Brock, for sure.
I'd have Brock. I think. Just personally, but...
Yeah.
Even
if you're going like, because we want to go with right now,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I think you mentioned it on one of your previous streams.
Slander in the chat. Chill with the Becky Bianca.
He said it was phenomenal.
They were both great. Just Joshua, come on.
Yeah. Chill with the top it though.
Let's bring it down.
I was about to get put over there. Money was like, you said saying, and I was like, yeah, I did, and then carry
on. Oh God, I've lost it now. It's the funniest thing.
Shit out of
what was we talking about?
Brock and Kevin, we were comparing.
Brock and Kevin. Yeah, I think you said it in one of your streams earlier, but like, when was actually like, we all love Brock. Like, I think I might have even mentioned just now that he's genuinely one of my favorite wrestlers / athletes. He genuinely is one of my favorite athletes ever. But when was the last time we really had a banger? Other than the match at the day one, which had like fucking 5 people in it or something. Right. So it's like, that's not really, of course he was a huge part of that match and obviously won the match and his spots were all amazing in it, but it weren't exactly like he went out there and had the match that he had with Bryan at Survivor Series a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I think, unfortunately, because of his schedule, when he misses on a big stage like Mania, it's hard not to hold that slightly against him, right? You could argue Kevin's above him. They're probably in the same tier for me. I would rather watch Brock.
Same.
In terms of who they are right now, you could argue Kevin's better.
Oh my God, the last match I can think of with Brock that was like my 5 stars is the Survivor Series Bryan match.
There you go. Yeah. He had those 2. Remember the AJ and Bryan match, one after the other, 1 year after the other?
Yep.
Fabulous matches. Okay, the last name you said was Finn, Jay Shell, correct?
Yes.
Now, he's a guy that's really interesting because match catalog, NXT is part of WWE, so he immediately wins that just on his last run, I think. I thought he was awesome on that last run. He can do babyface or heel. Unfortunately, he was too cool to be a heel for more than like a month in NXT when he went back. But you could tell he was. I mean, that match. I remember that match with Gargano, him just being at ease. In-ring versatility, I have no questions. My problem with poor Finn is he may not have had an opportunity to have a great match in the last 6 months, and that is really hurting him because if we'd have done this a year ago, I'll be honest, you guys, I think I'd have locked Finn in at the top and you'd have had to really sway me. It's tough for him on Raw, man. He's just another guy. Am I wrong, Jay Shell? Is that unfair?
Oh, he's worse than another guy, I feel like they just constantly kick the shit out of that. Like, what did his title reign consist of?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Like shit in a bag.
I think he lost the Theory before he lost the Theory for the belt.
I'm gonna look up his.
I could be wrong. But
I think
his memory serves me right. Yeah, it's a shame, man, because like you said, like when he was coming off NXT, it was like he went down to NXT, proved he can be a top guy on TV, came back up and just slotted back in exactly where he was, if not lower. To be honest, I know he got his Roman Reigns feud, but like we all knew that was just he didn't go anywhere.
The title? Oh,
he's. You know what's the thing with him too? He's not just great.
In March?
As NXT champ, he made like clear stylistic choices to change up that style. And for that, he's forever a king.
He beat Austin Theory.
Yes.
And he obviously beat Damon Priest to win the belt. And then he lost in a triple threat, not a triple threat, a trios with Austin Theory and the Usos.
I think he missed
Mania too.
I think Theory pinned him in that.
Yep, and then he lost to Theory for the belt.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I love the guy. He really felt like the champion in NXT, which is something that's a hard thing to do in that setting. Love him. Unfortunately, I think current form is going to limit him, but I think we all agree with opportunity, he's right at the top here, right?
When people are saying free Ferg in the chat, I'm thinking they're talking about ASAP Ferg, and I got very confused.
Owned. All right. I have a couple names. I'm going to go through some names now, okay?
Okay.
Someone that I don't talk about a lot. Very few people know I'm a big fan. Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine fame. One of the great wrestlers of the last 20 years. An absolute wizard. Force of nature inside the ropes. But again, I don't talk about it a lot. Okay. WWE match catalog. While obviously it's like limited by certain things, and like I still think he wins. He's still good in that regard, right? He's got it covered. Like it feels like him and O'Reilly had like 3 classics as a tag team. Absolutely no need for that. Comment in the chat while I'm trying to steer this thing. That's spiteful right there. Venomous, dare I say. Roddy, look, I think we're confident on match catalog. I think he's been absolutely awesome since being in Diamond Mine. Obviously, they've slowed him down a little bit, but lest we forget the start of the year, I felt like he was the best wrestler on the show. Babyface or heel, I have my concerns. In-ring versatility, quite frankly, I don't know. I think Roddy is going to be a real contender. Montel, what do you think?
He don't miss, and he hasn't missed for like 20 years. It's great. Obviously not a lot of that was in WWE, but he's got a crazy catalogue, man. My thing with Roddy is probably what's his like. His peak might fall short to some of the others on the list, but he's like, you know, the backbreaker Messiah. You know, he's he don't miss, like genuinely. Like I think I've said it before, but you know, people throw that around a lot. Like Roderick Strong is genuinely someone who don't miss, hasn't missed in almost 20 years. He's even now, like even when he's in like positions now where he's literally he's just thrown in there to have a good match with
Still
Carmelo
great.
Hayes. It's still incredible. He's the man. He's the man. I don't know about number one because, like I said, his peak probably doesn't touch somebody like a Gunther.
But
it's
hard too. Where like this is where it's hard to do this because there's certain like trimmings that other folks have that he doesn't. Because he is basically just an in-ring guy and that's it, right? I mean, I love Roddy. I don't think he'd ever called himself a good promo. He's an in-ring guy. So it's hard to compare him with someone like a Sasha Banks who's like got this whole star presentation and it's difficult. It's hard to drink. I think he's in the top 5, but we'll work through that. Do we agree Roddy is the top of the guys we've talked about so far? So that's Finn, Brock, Kevin, Roddy. Jay Shaw, are you fine with Roddy being slotted in at the top spot? Purely from an in-ring perspective, to be clear.
And right now.
Think? Yeah. Jay Shaw?
Joe, I will give you whatever you want if we can stop talking about him for now.
Well, that was spiteful.
Wow.
That felt.
So
That
Jay
felt
Styles just came on here and just lashed out like
I know.
3 times already, and we just,
Yeah,
Joe, what have you done to me, man?
I know. It's late night grins influence, brother. I'm sorry.
I'm saying very nice things right now. I could have got worse, so we're just gonna stay positive.
I mean, you did just tell me.
She's getting very fired up in the chat.
Yeah.
All I said was we're gonna move on, so I don't hurt your feelings.
Okay, hang on though. Ash's comment's interesting. Can you put that on the screen, please, Monty? Because this is. I actually agree. What I will say though, to kind of co-sign your take, I do not know how Roddy. If you put him in like a 25-minute main event in a big WWE setting, I think it would struggle to translate more than Gunther's. You know, that's what I would. I think he's peaking that. I get you. Like he's not really worked. How many main event matches has he worked on major shows in WWE? None. Not his fault, but none. Right? It's hard. So
Walter puts on movies, man. Like puts on these crazy like spectacles that have like a different feel to them.
I get you.
They really are. Like, they're so
do it,
dramatic.
I understand that. Okay. I want to move next in the direction of Ilya Dragunov, who is maybe the hardest guy to rate on the whole board. You're talking about a guy who has one of the two of the highest rated matches in WWE history on Cage Match. Montel, which is obviously very pristine honor. You're talking about a guy whose form is not a concern because whenever he wrestles, it seems to make it to my timeline. Babyface heel element, I've not seen enough to talk with confidence on. In-ring versatility. You could pick holes, but I think it'd be unfair. It sure feels like Ilya's at like one of the top guys on this list. Joshua, how much Ilya Dragunov have you seen?
5 to 7 matches max.
That's enough, to be honest.
Yeah. Every time I see him wrestle, he's super captivating was another word that I used for somebody else earlier, but he grabs your eye. And I think he wears his emotion on his face like nobody else.
Yes,
like he can sell the fuck out of a move. And he's extremely brutal, which I like.
My God.
Very high up there for me.
Montel, where are you at on Ilya's stance here in this conversation?
Ilya's a savage, bro. His whole thing is intensity. You know,
is he not good anymore?
What?
Somebody in the chat said that he's not good.
Oh well, I'm fair.
No. He had a great match with Roderick Strong like 2 weeks ago.
I didn't even watch that.
That was genuine. That isn't even just me and Joe being me and Joe. That was genuine. That was genuinely.
Is it like worth it?
Really good.
It was like 15 minutes.
That's what you think I'll watch NXT UK every week?
Yeah.
I used to watch it all the time, dude. Dude, it was weird. It was a weird time in my life.
Ilya's a savage. I think he's definitely right up there. I don't think he'd be on too many people's lists because obviously the exposure he gets is, he's quite shitty.
Poor.
So, it's just one of those. But he's the NXT UK ace at the moment, and he's a savage, man. Like he had a great match as recently as a couple of weeks ago, like I just mentioned, against Roddy. Obviously, he has 2 of the greatest matches in WWE history against Walter. So, like I said, he's a savage. He's right up there.
I saw that first Walter match when I was at work, and it was the most baffling experience of my whole entire life.
Yes, all timer. Where are we at on our current list? We currently have Roddy. We have Finn, we have Brock and Kevin. We haven't got the order exact on those last few, but I'm trying to kind of get the top, right? Is he above Roderick Strong? Let's take a vote. I'm saying no because I'm a bootlicker. Jay Shell, what's your vote? Above or below Roderick Strong?
I haven't seen enough of him recently to give an actual answer to be fair.
Yeah.
So I think I just have to put him below Roddy, to be honest.
Montel, where are you at on this one? I mean, you're outvoted, but I'll give you a chance to answer anyway.
I don't know. I think Roddy edges him slightly because of how trusted he could be.
There's more.
So if you throw Ilya in there with Carmelo Hayes, and this isn't even a shot at Carmelo Hayes. I think he's very good. He's very good, but he isn't. Like I said, he's still
gentle.
No, so I'm trying to think. I am genuinely trying to think of the right word to describe it because, like I said, I actually think
love that
he's
man.
pretty good.
He
He is good, but he's still
yeah,
he's not entirely polished yet. I think it's fair to say.
He has the pieces, but not the complete picture yet.
And I think Roddy will get the best out of pretty much anyone he works with. I'm not sure with Ilya, but like I said, if you put Ilya with someone like a Volta or someone like that, then you're gonna get like serious magic because he's just so intense and he brings like a truly unique feel. When you watch him for the first time, you're going to remember him. Even if you just think he's that crazy European or something.
Yeah.
Where is he from?
Very animated, very incredibly dynamic. I do not know, Joshua. I'm very uneducated on this matter.
Same.
He's NXT UK champ, so he's now claimed here in Great Britain. Correct one. So people don't know, those of you in America, when someone's the NXT UK champ, they're basically second to the Prime Minister, right? They get to call the shots and kind of big stars over here. It's a big brand, very big. Okay. You mentioned him. The artist formerly known as Volta, now Gunter. Where are we at? Where are we at on Gunter? I'm intrigued by this.
It's tough.
Match catalog, no doubt, right?
Yeah, he's
Form
solid.
He's a really complicated one. Form, it feels like it's going to hurt him here to me.
Yeah, form hurts him definitely. He still has his good matches, but they're just his presence, man. I'm telling you, like, it's not the same, and that affects the feel of the match, which of course then affects the quality of the matches that he has. It's not like he's forgot how to work or anything. The matches just they feel like they're missing something.
Yeah,
they're missing the tits.
I think the structure hurt. I think they're trying to agent his matches in a way that's really hurting them. I really do. It feels like they're like nearing the final act and they just end. It's happened regularly this year, I think, for him. I think no one's here saying that he now sucks, but it feels like he's fallen down this list, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely he's slipped down this list a bit, but he's still very good. And like I said, he's worth the mention, of course. It's fucking Walter. But yeah, I think like Joe said, it's probably an agenting issue where something's just not clicking. The presence thing that I mentioned, for me, definitely. And Jaisha has a hand up, and I'm sure she has something to add as well.
What I would compare him to currently is Shinsuke. Like, you remember when Shinsuke used to be in NXT and he would put out all the banger matches and stuff like that? And he even did that for a little while when he was on the main roster. But if you look at him now and the way his matches are kind of set up, it kind of just goes flat towards the end.
There's a certain aura that was part of that package before that isn't there anymore, basically, right?
Yeah.
And Shin's a great example of that, where it's just, it don't feel the same, man.
Too, like, with the lights and the...
That's why, and like, folks... You know, obviously, this is not us trying to do science. I'm sure you guys are very different at this, but this stuff's so interesting to me because you're trying to kind of strip away the rest and just talk about the in-ring. But the truth is that's just not how it works, right? Like a good example
the in-ring is affected by the other stuff.
Yeah, so it has to be. Atmosphere is a big part. Aura, presentation, so on and so forth. And we talk about the women of AEW. They're like climbing out of a grave every week, so to speak, in terms of investment. Whereas a CM Punk wrestles at his match starts at 3 stars because the people are with it. It's just it's different. We're trying our best to kind of look the other way on it, but I think it matters. I think Gunter is. This is really. I don't know where to put him. He's below Roddy and Ilya, right?
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Yeah.
Is he above Finn?
No.
Oh wow. Is he above Brock?
Yeah. Maybe.
Right, let's put him in between Finn and Brock. That's what we'll do. Just because I get a sense the hesitation, Jay Shell. Okay. Right. So.
Ash is just so vicious all the time. Like,
venomous, but I respect it. I appreciate it, actually. Makes me feel comfortable on here, It's good stuff. Okay. Jay Shell, I want to circle back to the name that you picked as your number one. I want to do this now. The legit boss, Sasha Banks. Someone that I said yesterday, and we were just kind of roughly talking it through, right? I kind of said,
she knows who I am.
She may be number one. Okay, let's quickly go through that criteria. Match catalog, almost on a level on her own in terms of the women, right? And for the last 10 years, I think she's on the top tier regardless. Form, slightly hindered by role. I think we'd all rather her be like the ace of the division, but you get what you get. She still looks like the same wrestler, so I don't think you can knock her too much on that.
Mm-hmm.
Babyface and heel, she's had classics on both sides. So I'm
Yes.
confident that her promos as a babyface, I think, are hampered, but I think as an in-ring, you can't. In-ring versatility, like, I just, I've seen her do stuff with certain women that did not need to be having good matches, and she managed it. There was a match, bless her heart, I'm not trying to be a dick here. She had a pay-per-view match with Carmella that was, like, bordering on, like, absurd. Like, it was unfair, honestly. It was, do you remember this? It was like the Rumble.
I don't, I'll be honest, I don't.
But she had the Louis Vuitton gear, and Carmella had the red latex gear.
I'm telling you, she had like a 3.5-star match with Carmella, and I nearly like left the house. I was startled. Like, I couldn't deal with it.
You need to go for a walk.
She's
so like, what I'm saying is, she ticks those boxes. Joshua, you said that she might be your pick for number one, or she is your pick for number one. Expand on it, because I'm not disagreeing with you. To be honest, she's very, very special. Go ahead.
The way that I'm looking at it is, I'm just thinking, take her highest of her highs. So I'm talking Sasha Bailey, Brooklyn, Sasha Bailey, Hell in a Cell. Honestly, Sasha Becky, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Bianca, Sasha, Mania. And then you could take they had like some fatal 4-ways or 3-ways or whatever in NXT that were fired too, when it was like the Horsemen and stuff. Yep. And you can even look at what she does on TV. Like, she had an amazing match with Liv Morgan on TV as a TV wrestler too. So she can provide in all aspects, like highest of the high stage to TV wrestling. She can do it all. And also, even if you just look at the way that she's composing her matches too, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like helping agent other matches as well.
She's my favorite.
Puts it together.
Yeah,
she's a genius.
Genuinely a wrestling genius. Her like understanding of layout, structure, and stuff.
Sasha Io too from NXT. Oh my god!
Yeah. Some of that stuff in the summer of 2020 when she was teaming with Bailey was like, people forget because it was in the PC and shit. Like they were carrying the show. Montel, are you on board with our rampant praise of Legit Boss so far? Where are you at on this?
Yeah, of course. She's, like I said, like I literally just said, she's a genius. Like her in-ring IQ is, it's hard to fault. Like the match with Bianca was like one of the best jobs you'll see someone do at making a star on a big stage.
Great.
Genuinely, female or male match, especially in WrestleMania history. Anyway, she's a genius, man. She's special. She can do it all. Genuinely, she can do the long main event style matches, and she can do a little 5-7 minute match that's fun. And then, like Joe said, she can drag she can drag good matches out of people who a lot of people may think have absolutely no right having them. So, and she does that a lot. So
a lot.
Yeah. She's definitely right up there. She's right up there. I'm not sure she's not my number one, but she's right up there.
I understand. It's one of those deals where it's like, in terms of just pure execution of moves, she isn't as good as a Finn Balor, for example, right? But the brain, man, that mind that we've just kept alluding to, like she's prolific and she's just a brilliant, brilliant wrestler. I currently genuinely have her at the top of the names we've talked about so far. And you guys know Roddy's like one of my favorite wrestlers ever. There's a level of range, man. Like and again, if you just compare their offense, it's not like obviously Roddy's shit's like nuts. But this is part of where those other factors maybe are guiding me. I feel like she's top of the names we've talked about so far. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where are you at on this in terms of her place on the list?
Number one.
Montel, you seem unsure.
She could. It's just. I love me some Roddy, man.
I'm with you. Man, the Fed run is absurd, isn't it? Like, listen to the Monday matches.
I feel like as a take, it would sound pretty crazy to be like, Rod Strong's better than Sasha Banks.
I also have to.
You know what? She
probably
probably
on fire
is.
about Bailey. Bailey's up
Yeah,
there.
I didn't
Bailey's up
mention
there,
Bailey,
too.
to be honest. Bailey's great. Bailey is great, definitely. We might as well just segue into talking about Bailey, to be honest. I think we all
Yeah, I'm
agree
fine
that
with
Sasha Banks is incredible. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's extraordinary.
I think I've succumbed to the idea that she's number one of the current list as well, to be honest.
And again, this is important. We're talking about this setting, right? In WWE, I do think that's a different thing to being the best wrestler maybe elsewhere or in a different promotion or a different style. I think she's been remarkable in that system. Okay, Bailey. Now, Bailey's someone, again, match catalog, no concern. Form, obviously, NA, right? We hope when Bailey's back, she'll be the same as she was before. I'm pretty confident she will. Babyface and heel range, she may be the league leader in that regard. You're talking about someone who was the best babyface worker and then found herself as the best heel worker in 2021. You know, she definitely has that. In-ring versatility, she's not the most dynamic, but again, great wrestling brain, great understanding of structure, layout, so on and so forth. She's a candidate. Jay Shell, where is your initial read on whereabouts she stands in this topic?
Bailey has to be high too because she's the dancing partner, Sasha, and some of the matches I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Even like the Bailey Bianca match, the Hell in a Cell match too. Like she had a good string with Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even when she was doing the summer stuff with Sasha as well, like going back and forth between all the promotions and things like that, she had good matches with fucking Tamina, dude.
Yes.
So
which was incredible.
I think she could also work both spectrums as well.
Oh, for sure. My thing with Bailey would be, and let me stress again, we're nitpicking because we're comparing the top in the promotion. My one knock against her against some of these other names would be, I think she is more likely to lead someone to a solid match than a great match. And that is really nitpicky. But what I mean by that is Bailey is a pro's pro. I'm not sure she quite has the dynamism to like go in the top 5. Does that make sense? Monte, where are you at? I know I didn't explain that perfectly, but like she's very solid. I wonder if she has that extra 5% to really climb into the top group. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she falls into just the tier below. Yeah, like I personally wouldn't put her on it. I wouldn't put her on like the same level as a Sasha, or even an Io, to be honest.
Interesting.
Bailey at the same time, you know, we are in here like every wrestler we're going to talk about is going to be fantastic. So, yeah, I think I can back up your point, to be honest, sure, on that one.
It's just, and again, stress it one time. We're nitpicking, right? Nothing wrong with that. We're nitpicking. It's part of the conversation. As a pro, I trust Bailey to have a fine match, a solid match with just about anyone in the world. But when you're talking about that tippy top tier, I wonder if she just lacks that slight extra ingredient. I personally am happy to have her above Kevin Owens, personally. Jay, I'm assuming you're the same based on you wanted her higher than us. So above Kevin Owens for you, right?
Yeah, I'd go higher. Chat, don't scream at me, scream at them.
I wouldn't put her higher than Owens. Who's next?
Brock.
Who's after Owens?
Brock.
I wouldn't have her above Brock either.
Jay, what about you?
Who's before Owens? Who's before Owens?
So we got Brock and we got Kevin. Brock, that's the bottom two. So where would you slot her? And would she be above both of them?
I would put her above Owens, but
I've got her above Owens. We've won that vote. Montel's lost it. So do you have her above Brock? That's really hard.
I think this is like, it's because we're not limiting in years that it's like hard to do that.
Bailey's off. Should we be cowards and leave Bailey off because she's inactive? She's not wrestled in 9 months.
I only brought her up because the chat did, and I thought, you know what, she's worth a mention.
We'll leave it like this, because then, like, Bailey fans can claim like a rightful moral victory, but we don't have to like tweet the list and get shit from Brock stands or whatever. You know what I mean? That's good. Because of form, folks, making an executive decision here, Bailey will be off the board for now. But I'm glad we talked about it because she fucking rules. Okay.
Yes.
Who's the next name up? Montel, would you like to pick one out to isolate, or should we let the chat pick someone? It's up to you. What do you want to do?
Let the chat pick one, then we'll
Okay.
take it in turn. Chat pick
Let's
one of us pick one. Chat pick one.
let's do Ash's one. Let's do Gable. 'Cause that one's there, and that one interests me a lot. I love me some Chad Gable. Now, in terms of form, I think
Very high.
he's one of the top guys in the promotion. Babyface heel range, I have no concern. He's currently operating as a heel against Baron Corbin and such in the King of the Ring. I thought he was absurd in that as a babyface. In-ring versatility, he is slightly limited by output in terms of how much opportunity he gets. My big concern for Chad is the match catalog. I don't know if he's had the opportunity to really rack up the kind of matches we're talking about at this level. And that's honestly, if that's the only knock against him, saying it's out of his hands, and it tells you a lot about how good he is. Joshua, where are you at on Gable as a candidate here?
I think if we're thinking strictly NXT, I see why he's in this conversation. But I feel like the main roster stuff, he hasn't been able to perform at that level, and obviously that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But I mean, if WWE treated their tag division more importantly, like say an AEW did, it would make more sense. But I can't rightfully compare him to a Sasha Banks in my mind right now.
Really hard with his booking, Montel. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's tough because you just don't have the catalog. I think as a talent, ability-wise, whatever you want to call it, he's genuinely right now. He's very, very high. Probably as a case for top 5 in the whole company, to be honest. But he just doesn't have the catalog. Hopefully, one day we do actually get it out of him. Obviously, it's no fault of his own, but fingers crossed we do get some classic Chad Gable single matches.
Yeah, because that's the real thing, singles matches, right? Because if is Jay Shaw mentioned the NXT stuff, the American Alpha stuff is elite. There's not a lot of it, but it's elite. Singles wise, he just had so little opportunity to create classics, and as you said, hopefully, because of that, is he bottom of the names we've said so far. Even though ability wise, I think we both. Yeah, Jay Shaw, you good with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Jay Shaw. Is there another name you would
they
like
just
to
announced
forward?
another match for Dynamite. 1 second.
Oh, what was that?
Eddie Kingston versus Samoa Joe?
BCC versus The Factory. No. QT, Solo, and Camarado.
We actually, in the chat earlier, someone said they'll announce the Blackpool comeback. They do this every week. Kind of pops, man, not gonna lie. QT's getting the shit kicked out of him, dude. He wrestled in AEW's universe. He wrestled Suzuki on Monday. He wrestled Penta last night. And tonight he's in with the Blackpool Combat Club. I know they were all very spaced out, but that still rules.
I trust him, man.
He's a pro, man. That dude is a serious pro.
He is. Some of the best punches in the game.
Yeah, it's a meme, but he's fundamental. He's so sound. Jay Shell, is there another name you would like to put forward?
We're going to talk about AJ Styles, I guess.
Yeah. Of course we are.
Great enthusiasm on that suggestion, but yeah, we can talk about AJ Styles. Match catalog, all good. Babyface heel, one of the best ever, I think.
AJ's match catalog in WWE is an interesting conversation, I think. Especially when you rank it next to the rest of his career. It's of course he's had some bangers. Cena, Brock.
Brian, those Brian matches were great. Remember the one they had at TLC? It was a fabulous match.
But then he's had some misses as well. No, because he had a great Mania match. The Shinsuke match is missed.
Yeah, maybe right. Yeah.
I think it's a case of
he's not hit at the rate you would like, but I still think it's good enough that you can kind of.
That's probably
You can give him a tick. Does that make sense? I think
in the chat, can you do me a favor? Because I don't want to sound spiteful. Can you guys name some of the top tier matches that AJ has had in WWE besides the Brock match?
I think the Cena trilogy and the Bryan matches, one being the title match they had in late 2018, and the second being that PC match they had. Remember the match they had in the match went 40 minutes on SmackDown. I think that's the answers.
Who did he have that IC title match with on SmackDown? It was
Brian.
Oh,
unless you're talking about defense, he had one with Riddle. I think he had a couple. I don't know.
I forgot. I'm gonna look through his cage match and find it. Hold on.
I think honestly, I think you're right, Montel. It's not what you'd like. I just think there's enough good that he clears that
Yeah.
bar. Does that make sense?
I f-
My real
yeah,
concern with
you're
AJ,
probably right.
form is my real concern with AJ. Because I think there is increasing evidence that as admirable as he is for a 45-year-old man, I think there is increasing evidence that he's, a step or two off what he was 5
I
years
loved
ago.
his triple threat match with the ladder and Hardy's
Yeah.
ear.
I think you'd be honestly. I think if we listed all the matches that are like good, I think you'd be okay. I don't think he's the same wrestler.
Do you
I think
know
he's still really good, but
what makes
form
me
is what
bad
limits him. I think
is like the recency bias for me, like the Edge and AJ thing. Like
that's fair. That's fair. Look, unfortunately, that's what he's doing right now. That match wasn't good, and it was cold, and it fueled into the point Montel made about Mania. So I think that hurts AJ's case. I still think, I don't know. You've really thrown me off, Montel, this match, California. You've now got me. I've kind of shook,
I think it's probably just me being, but we're meant to be nitpicking. That's what we're meant to do here. So it's like, I do kind of get your point where, because it's not where I would like it to be as an AJ Styles fan, that probably makes me a bit more harsh on it compared to your average wrestler. So he probably does get a tick in that box, to be honest, but I had to think about it.
He's got a better match catalog in WWE than Owens, right? Right?
Probably.
Feels like it.
He's probably got a higher peak. But Owens has had quite a lot of good matches, man. So he's had like 4 with Sami Zayn.
I think it also hurts him that he doesn't have his best performances on Mania.
Yes, because the B pay-per-views run together, right?
Yeah.
So,
I will not be rating Edge on this list. So
I personally think
that's that.
On resume, as well as the fact that he is not washed, even he's clearly declined, but he's not like a shell of himself out there. I think he's above Kevin Owens. Personally.
Yes.
I personally think he's above Kevin Owens. Montel, you seem unsure. You had KO way higher than me. It pops me.
Yeah, I love KO. It's that versatility. That Stone Cold match. I'm telling you.
Oh, he rules. He rules.
It put him even higher than I rated him before because it was incredible. Like, no, it's genuinely like. It's funny because Kevin Owens and Sammy, we always put them like together when talking about them, and it's like, I don't know if there was 2 wrestlers in the world who could have had the matches that they had at Mania. Yeah. They're incredible, man.
I can't argue.
I'm very high on Owens, to be honest. I love Owens.
I personally don't disagree with a word you said, but if I was going to watch an AJ Styles 10-minute TV match or an Owens one, I'd go AJ. And in terms of them both producing classics, I have like a 50-50 on both. That's me. That's just me. I don't think you're wrong.
The form, though, man. AJ is like,
yeah.
It's the form. Like I'm leaning heavy on the form thing, especially when it comes to AJ, because if we were just going off like overall, like AJ could be probably number 1 in the whole company. But,
Let's stress that one more time. This is current, right? I mean, all-time great. AJ is one of the best wrestlers of the last 20 years. But he's fabulous, but it's hard. Jay Show, you have AJ above Kevin Owens, correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do we have him below Brock as a team? Or do we have him above Brock?
Above
Brock
is
is
fine.
so hard to compare.
He is. He's because he's so unique. He's just so unique.
I personally would probably slot AJ between Gunther and Brock. Me personally. Now, that's just me.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I think the Edge feud has really hurt Paul Montel on AJ. Bless his heart. I think he's really... Really, and it's fair. We're talking about form, so I can't argue with it. But I just
Willow has the Ring of Honor entrance, by the way. It's the same to Intron.
Fair. Yeah, that's where I've got.
Nice little tidbit of information there.
I just wanted to address something I saw in the chat.
That's fair. It was worthwhile. I got in between Gunter and Brock. Montel, are you going to throw me off here for that, or are you going to clear it? This made a decision here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll agree with you this time.
Pop.
I'll agree this time.
Kind of bums me out that AJ's like a name we had to debate that much. Not gonna lie, it's kind of sad. There's no shame in it. Dude's like old, but it's just like it's sad when you realize you've seen like the best of someone. You know,
If you're in
it's
the
sad.
chat, and
Yeah, it is.
you can give me an update. Please let me know who Willow is facing and if she wins. Thank you.
Yes, fair. Scoops in the chat. All right,
That's all I give a fuck about.
Jay Shell, you said AJ Styles. Montel, do you have a name you'd like to put forward? I know you have your list there. I think we've worked through 9 of them now. Who would you like to bring up next?
John Cena.
Absolutely not. I'm
No,
not talking
we're
about him
not
on this
doing
platform
Cena.
ever.
No. Io Shirai.
That's a fun one. Okay.
God bless.
I'm going to immediately take a firm stance. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
I've been legit. I think she is a great pro wrestler. I've been somewhat disappointed with her WWE match catalog. That's just me. I'm being completely. Now, that doesn't mean I'm right, because you guys know I missed a lot of that NXT stuff. Whether it was booking, agenting, circumstance, bad luck, whatever, I was surprised at how few great matches she churned out in NXT, or has churned out in NXT. I think a lot of those factors I just said are a thing. I just think in this conversation that's going to hurt her. No doubt about the talent, right? And we all know how great her is. Am I being unfair in saying it? Jay Show, am I missing some classics here? I don't know if it's come together like that for a kind of the full masterpiece, so to speak. Jay Show, what do you think? Io Shirai's WWE match catalog.
In Your House, Sasha, Candice LeRae.
It's thinner than you'd like, right?
Dakota.
I'm trying to think. I'm struggling.
I think I gotta look up that cage match.
So I just pulled it up. This is a pop. Ready for this?
Mhm.
Her highest rated WWE match is 17th on her overall match catalog.
Oh, really? Oh,
Candice
shit.
LeRae. This is a good one. You forgot, Jay Show, and I did too. A match I loved. The match with Rhea Ripley where she busted her ear up. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
When
Yep,
Rhea's
yep.
ear was all. That match ruled. It's not bad.
She had a match with
It's just-
Shayna, didn't she?
I'm sure she had many matches with Shayna. I think everyone that worked in NXT for the last decade had many matches with Shayna. And again, this is very important we stress this, right? None of this is an indictment on the talent Io Shirai. But in this conversation, I think it hurts her. Montel, what do you think? Where are you at on this?
I agree with you, to be honest. I think of her as a talent, and you want to throw her into the conversation straight away. But as soon as you bring up her match catalog in WWE, it gets really tough. Like, yeah, she's had some good matches, and she isn't exactly gonna, she isn't gonna stink out the arena when she goes out there. Like, that's not going to happen. But we're here to nitpick, so
yeah.
It's tough to put her in this conversation, even though we all recognise that she's a great talent. Hopefully, she could get. That's where I worry, because it's like, if she was going to get brought up and be taken seriously, like, surely they would have done it by now.
Yeah,
I do worry because, like I said, she's a phenomenal talent. She really is.
Yeah, and let's stress one more time. If we were doing whole body of work, she's way higher. I haven't watched enough of her pre-WWE work, but I'm aware that there are like a litany of classics behind. Like,
Oh, there's
I'm
some
aware
good
of that.
stuff here. Io and Tony Storm, the triple threat with Mercedes, the War Games match. Obviously Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae in the second carnation. The tables and ladders match that she had.
Would you say it's enough to beat out Gable?
Yeah.
Probably is, right? Because Gable, she's had Gable, as we said earlier, the lack of singles match opportunities has been a killer for him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that where she slots in right now? And now again, on this WWE list, is she between Owens and Gable, do we think, on our list? As great as she is, or is she? Yeah, it feels like that's about right, doesn't it?
That's not fair.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And again, a great talent, but it's tough. Okay, chat. I want to go back to you guys here. This come up with some interesting names. We have currently got 10. They are as follows: Sasha Banks, Roderick Strong, Ilya Dragunov, Finn Balor, Gunther, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Io Shirai, Chad Gable. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I'm trying to think if we're missing any glaring omissions. I know you've got a long list there, Monty, but I'm intrigued if the chat has a name that we need to tackle. Ash has got a good point. I like Ash's point. The thing is that Io is a high flyer, just does not gel with the usual WWE woman style. I do think sometimes their type formula and structure limits her somewhat.
Did we talk Asuka?
We did not.
Not yet.
Let's do that, Michelle. Good call. Okay, Asuka has not got the same concerns from a match catalog perspective. Fair to say. She has the NXT classics and she's produced a hell of a lot on the main roster, even when booking didn't exactly allow. Form is
Arguably Flair's best match.
Yeah, exactly. Form is slightly weird because she just came back, so maybe we should be cards again. Babyface and heel, there's no concern. In-ring versatility, I mean, Asuka can do full-on comedy. And she can have the most intense match on the show.
Mm-hmm.
She's damn high. The question is, are we great big fucking cowards and do we leave her off because she gets to wrestle since last July? I don't know. What do we think? Should we duck it? I feel like we should duck it.
Yeah, we should duck it, but I want to make a point of revisiting it after the Becky Lynch match.
I think we should go back to this like once a month. You know?
Yeah,
dare I say, Monty, I mean, you're the boss right here, but dare I say we try and do this for a couple other promotions too? That'd be interesting. You know?
Yeah.
We could revisit them over time. Okay.
I would love
to
see how far we go into an AEW roster before we get to a woman.
Listen, she does damn good. So
Serena, quite frankly. Serena's excellent.
So
how high up are we gonna get Ashita though? She's not gonna be close to like a Sasha level though.
No, you're right. Yeah, but that's that goes back to that thing about there's the other factors affect the in-ring, right? It's hard. I think Thunder Rose is great, but that it'd be interesting. We'll do that sometime soon. So just to make it clear for any Asuka fans out there, she's off the list due to she hasn't wrestled since last July.
Inactivity.
We all agree she fucking rules. Can we stress that here? Yeah. Asuka is incredible. Okay.
A couple people have said Sheamus, so let's do Sheamus.
Oh god, yeah. All right.
Because I'm a big Sheamus guy.
Fair.
His match catalog. It's the piece. He's another one of those guys who's like you can trust him to have a good match with pretty much anyone because he's just gonna club him and beat the shit out of him.
He's so reliable.
he's gonna do his shit regardless. But
one of the best TV match guys ever.
That peak is kind of missing.
Yeah. Form, he's timeless. We agree on that, right? Sheamus is going to get. It feels like he's the same wrestler now as he's always been. Babyface and heel, like he can just whack guys as a babyface and it pops you. I think the element you mentioned about the lack of, like his ceiling is lower, but his floor is higher, puts him somewhere in the middle. This is going to be interesting. Okay.
What match are we talking about?
We're talking about Sheamus.
No, what match? Like, what's the worst? Wait, what are we talking about?
What do you mean?
Oh, Wrestler of the Year. Never mind.
Oh,
I read that wrong.
I
thought that meant like worst match of the year. I was like, what is happening?
No, that's true. And a lot of folks that are much more educated than I have said that he's, in terms of output, he's like genuinely one of the greatest TV match guys ever. Like he has got an absurd amount of matches you would consider good on WWE TV. Now, I am immediately going to take a stand and say that he is above the following names. Again, folks, in WWE, okay? I think he's above Gable.
Yes.
I think he's above EO.
Yes.
I think he's above Kevin Owens. Montel? Look at I love this. This is incredible.
I didn't know people were this low on Kevin Owens, man.
They might not. It might just be me being an asshole. I don't know.
Nah, he's below Owens. He's below Owens for me. And I love me some Sheamus. I love that style, but
he's more Owens, one. Actually, you know what?
The range is crazy.
I actually agree with you. He's more one note. It hurts him in this. I agree. with that in mind, does he go between Kevin and Io, below Kevin, above Io Shirai? Is that what you think? Or is Io Shirai above him? I don't know. Now you've quit. The one note thing is a real thing. Like he's kind of.
I'd have him above Io Shirai, but Io Shirai's kind of had a lack of opportunity. Not saying that Sheamus has main events all the time, but he gets to mix it up with, you could argue, better talent than Io has, especially now that Io's in this NXT 2.0 fucking black hole shit that she's in. So,
I mean, the perfect example of that is Gable is bottom of our list, and I think he's fucking awesome. Like he's one of my favorite guys to watch on this list. We tried to do a criteria so that we could kind of base it off something beyond how much we enjoy them. So some folks are going to get hurt. It is what it is. Sheamus is further from the bottom, above Gable and Io Shirai, below Kevin Owens. I agree with Monty on that. I'm sorry for slandering Kevin one step too far. I'm with you. Okay. I'm looking at the chat because I saw there was a couple of other names before we got to Sheamus. Drew Mack. Okay.
We got to mention Drew.
Oh, yeah. He's very consistent. I haven't seen enough as of late on form. I assume he's the exact same wrestler, though, so fair.
Yeah.
Match catalog. Honestly, man, like, he kind of feels like just a very similar candidate to Sheamus, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Really reliable, really solid, hits hard, works hard. I don't know if he produces the epics in the form you want, but like they feel very similar. Am I being unfair? What do you think?
They are very similar, but I'd probably have Drew a touch more above him.
Wow, really? Okay.
He's just more. Fair, right? I think he's more athletically impressive. So he can do, he can do the fucking dive over the top rope and shit. Like, you cannot see Sheamus doing that. Then there's that. I love that corner spot. What he does when I don't know how to even explain it, but he does that crazy fucking.
He's a tremendous and I mean this with love. But he's like a tremendous meathead wrestler. Like he just fucking flings guys and whacks them and it rules. Jay Shell, who do you think's higher, Sheamus or Drew?
Drew.
Is Drew above Kevin Owens, though, Montel?
Yeah.
Jay Shield says yes.
You know what? I probably would, I genuinely probably would.
Wow, there you go. Okay. Brock Lesnar. Is Drew above Brock Lesnar or below? Jay Shield says no. Below.
Brock's hard, man.
I'm thinking epics. Like, top of the brain.
Yeah, Brock's obviously got that long match catalog, hasn't he? Yeah, probably just below Brock.
I feel like once you get to what is Brock? Like top 7, maybe top 5 or so on that list, Joe.
Brock is he is 7th.
7. Oh, no. See, I feel like once you get to that point, you have to have the big epics that come to mind immediately, which is why I feel like Sasha Bias. I feel like that's why she's probably near the top of the list, is because she's had epic matches that come to mind immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
See, this is the thing with Drew is I don't think Ash is wrong or Jamie's wrong about his ability to work WWE main event style. I think my lack of enjoyment at times makes me unfair on Drew. I don't enjoy Drew as the top guy on a wrestling show, but I appreciate that as a worker he is so reliable and solid. That maybe I'm probably a little bit lower on him than you guys, but I think you're actually right in this case. Right, we're probably going to be on here for another 10 minutes. We hope you guys have enjoyed this before Dynamite. Montel, what names on your list do you feel like we need to explore before we kind of put a bow on this? And we can always revisit. We're going to try and do this probably once a month because it's just a fun topic to kick around. I hope you guys have had your voices heard enough times.
Okay. Seth, Cody, Ciampa, and if we have time, Tyler Bate just to pop me.
I think we go Seth. I know you guys don't want to do it, but I think we should.
I don't honestly I when it comes to Seth Rollins, I actually do enjoy his matches and stuff. It's when people start saying, "Oh, he's the best in the world," that's when I'm like, "Yo, let's slow down a bit." And I think some people do too much of it when they say that he's, he's bad or whatever. Like, come on, he's good man. He's good. I'm not sure how high I'd have him, but in terms of catalog, I think he easily gets a ticking catalog. He has a very high peak, I think, especially before especially before the injury that he had a few years ago. Like his peak was, it's quite crazy to be honest. Even a lot of the people who criticize him say that like, a few years ago he actually was really good.
Yes.
Yeah. So Seth, I feel like I get why people are kind of off on him, but I feel like you can't really have a conversation when it comes to WWE best in ring workers without at least mentioning Rollins.
I think his biggest issue for me here, I think his range is almost exclusively tied to what kind of character he's trying to portray. I think he wrestles almost identical regardless. But the difference is right now he laughs in between spots rather than, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's... Now, again, I actually, all bits aside, I actually agree with you. He needs to be mentioned. I just think that hurts him. For me, there is not a great degree of idea or thought, or the content for me is very cookie cutter with Seth. I am happy to have him. I don't think he's rock bottom on match catalog alone, honestly. The point I get to is like, he's below Drew, right? Or have you got him above Drew? I'm intrigued.
Below.
Once I was unsure. This is interesting. I'm with you, Jay Shaw.
I want to go above, but like that's because I like Seth. If I'm looking strictly in ring.
Well, in fairness, though, he has a better match catalog, doesn't he? Granted, because of what
more memorable.
It's a lot, but the match catalog is substantially better, to be honest.
It is more memorables. More.
So
it's like even recently, he's had a better match recently because the Cody match at Mania was a very good match.
In this range.
And in fairness,
he's on form the past year or two, man. He is.
I didn't watch a lot of it, but I'm aware that the Edge stuff gets more impressive with every month because people love the Edge matches and they do not love what Edge has done since.
They weren't all completely for me, but yeah. You know what? I'd honestly, especially judging off recent form and everything, Drew's kind of been in like this weird position ever since he's not had the belt on him. I'd probably put him above Drew, to be honest.
So he gets that line again. Is he above Brock? That's that line that Jay Shaw just mentioned.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, if we're talking form, yeah.
Because he's got a catalogue, but it's not better than Brock Lesnar's. It definitely isn't. And Brock Lesnar definitely pops him more, but it's good enough. And when you throw in his current form, the only thing that really hurts Rollins, I think, without trying to be too critical of him or trying to throw any of my biases in. Well, like I said, I do like Rollins, to be fair. It's not like I'm just not as high on him as some other people. Well, it seems that I am in this chat. So, the only thing that really majorly hurts him in this conversation, I think, is how his heel and face work and the versatility doesn't really change in the ring.
Yeah, they blend.
But other than that, that's also a problem with Brock Lesnar, who we was talking about. So, I think on current form, Seth.
Yeah, I think based on this last year, at least, he had he had that trilogy with Edge. And people said at least one of those matches was like in match of the year category or some shit. So I guess that counts for something. The Roman match, even though it went to a DQ, it was probably Roman's strongest match since Mania. And then he had the Cody match too.
So is he above AJ Styles?
Yes. Yes.
I think definitely. AJ has a Mania thing that I can't get over.
Oh dear.
Definitely. Okay. He's got a better catalogue. He's got a longer catalogue. He's on better form.
Right, you can't yourself down.
It's totally like it's because it's Rollins and he has like this stigma. But if we are being real,
I've not argued it. You don't need to twist the knife. I've conceded.
I think we end after AJ though.
He's not above Gunther.
No, I don't think I can argue that.
All right.
I think that NXT stuff is too strong.
Okay. This is fascinating.
And Vic, are you in agreement?
What? How has this happened?
Terrifying.
How has this happened?
I
feel like we've got I feel like we've accidentally ended up with Gunther too hard.
That is possible.
I don't know. Like, I know his form's like weird, but he was
He's
prolific for a
really
while there.
No, I
fair.
I
Yeah,
think
let's carry on. Yeah,
Ciampa's up there.
he's below
Yeah,
Gunther.
I
He's
think
below Gunther.
Ciampa, Elliott 1 and 2, Bate, Dunn.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's like, if you did like the top 5 combined matches between Volta and Seth Rollins, Volta has the whole top 5. Like, I think we're okay having him in that top.
Yeah, definitely.
And that ain't even a
Definitely.
knock. That is what it is.
Should we quickly
should we
throw
do
over
Roman?
Cody? I was gonna say
Yeah, should we
Cody.
do, what do you want to do? Close with Cody? What's the plan?
Can we even do Cody? Because he's been here.
Oh, hell yeah. We're doing Cody. It's Cody. Code Man. Should we close on Cody and then take this thing home?
Yeah, we'll close on. We'll do Cody.
Cody.
We'll do Ciampa then Cody if we've got time.
Right,
Are we
Because I feel like you
saying fuck
can't.
Roman?
I don't.
Pretty
Bro,
sure, was that
listen.
sorry?
Roman wouldn't be bottom, but like it's just I'm
I
not
know,
getting
but,
into
like,
the whole Roman
World
Reigns is
champ,
boring
blah, 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 blah,
conversation.
blah. Can we just put him somewhere? We don't have to talk about him. Let's just put him on the list somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Start from the
So-
bottom, Joe. Is he above Chad Gable?
Roman Reigns. I'm not against it. I'm just making sure I know what we're doing.
Yeah,
Is
Roman Reigns.
above
Roman
Chad
Reigns.
Gable?
Yeah.
Is
Sure,
he?
man. I don't know. I
Um,
don't know.
Brian matches, Mania, triple threat.
I'll be honest. I like Roman Reigns.
okay,
It's just-
okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so do
yes.
I. It's just
So,
it's
yeah.
not
His
really
booking,
his
he feels
wheelhouse.
like he's in his own like world. I just. I think
Okay, fine.
this dude.
He goes above
Gable.
He goes above Gable because he's had
Yeah.
opportunities to have more main event matches, so he's had more big hits, I guess. Okay, so he's above Gable. Is he above?
Io
Io?
Shirai.
Yes.
Yes.
Sheamus.
No.
Yes, has to.
I've got him above Sheamus.
I think he
Oh, I
has
don't
to.
know about that. I said that. What are you doing? Get out of
Felt
here, old
weird.
I think just
I like
because
him, man.
I think his big matches have to be up there.
Do you know what the problem is? This may
I
be
think he has a
controversial.
form problem.
I think he wrestles better as a face.
We've talked about this on the Late Night Green, and you just said it. Like, I just, as much as the character stuff wasn't there, I thought he was a genuinely good worker as a babyface, and as a heel, I find him to be really dull.
Yeah.
And I like him a lot. So I think we slot him. This is the funniest thing I've ever said. I think we slot him actually between Io Shirai and Chad Gable.
This list at the end is going to be hilarious.
Oh
Okay, so that's Roman. Can we just?
God.
I don't want to
Oh
do that.
God. That's
Like,
not good.
Oh,
J
that's
Show,
tough.
J Show. It's my channel. Deal with it.
Okay, Ciampa next or Cody next? What do you want to do? You know?
Ciampa, because we'll finish on
Round,
Cody.
round.
All right, cool. Tommaso Ciampa has certainly got the matches behind him.
Yes.
I think he's still a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's shown he can do babyface or heel in ring at least. Versatility, he's actually a sleeper candidate, to be honest with you. So
Let's go through it.
Because we're short on time, we'll just go through the list. He's above Gable on match catalog, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
Yes.
Pop, Io Shirai,
Yes.
Sheamus.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit, Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Drew Mack.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is where I'm wavering. I thought I was gonna waver on Brock.
I wouldn't have him above Drew Mack personally, but Montel does. So you got the deciding vote, Jay Shield.
Oh no.
No pressure.
I can't really do it because matches. I don't think. Actually, no. Wait, I can. I can go above Drew.
Brock Lesnar.
Under. No. No higher.
Montel wanted to say yes.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh,
He hit the typical Brock Lesnar wall that he seemingly stumbled across on this stream.
this is fucking hilarious. I can't believe what we've ended up with here. There's definitely a name in the top 4 that we've forgotten is there, by the way. When I read it out, you're going to pop. All right, let's close with him. The American Nightmare, Code Man Rhodes. Obviously, match catalog is weird because he missed so much of his WWE stuffs before.
He deserves to be with Bailey and Asuka.
Yeah, but he had like one of the best matches of the year so far for WWE. So you gotta,
But you can't do one
He's had 3
match.
matches and he hasn't missed yet. He had
Yeah.
Miz's best match in fucking
Yeah.
ever.
Fine, but we can't go too far with him.
All right.
Out of fairness.
Is he above Chad Gable?
Yes.
Is he above Roman Reigns?
Yes.
Yes. Easy.
Is he above Io Shirai?
Yes.
Sheamus?
No.
I wouldn't have him above Sheamus. Sheamus is fucking really good, man.
Sheamus is also another wall.
Yeah. Code man below Sheamus, right?
Yeah.
Who's the last one, Joe? Who are you talking about?
The last name to put on the board, you mean?
You said there was a big 4 we were missing or something.
Oh, no. When I read it out, you're going to realise someone.
Oh.
I will do it now, okay? This is the list we've ended up with, folks. Dynamite's on in 5 minutes. We're going to wrap here, okay? This is in order. Top to bottom. Sasha Banks, Roderick Strong, Ilya Dragunov, Finn Balor, Gunther, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Tommaso Ciampa, Drew Mack, Kevin Owens, Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, Io Shirai, Roman Reigns, Chad Gable. I love Finn Balor. We got way harsher on form after we listed him because he's 4th, and I don't know the last great Finn Balor match, but we're going to revisit this another time.
I think Ilya's high too.
This maybe we'll come back. Okay, we'll make a note
I don't
of that.
mind
We'll
it. It is a savage.
Maybe I need to watch more recent matches and then
Tyler Bate would be number 1.
We got to do Tyler. We got to do Ray Jr. We got to get a couple other guys on this. But this was a good start, right? I mean, it was a complete mess, but it was a good. I enjoyed doing it.
Bob Lash eventually too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
we had fun. I think
people.
the chat had fun. The chat was interacting.
Yeah,
we had a good time, man.
Yeah, I
Let's
enjoyed
get
it.
out
Jay
of
Show, Jay Show, any promotions? Any final words before we bounce here?
Follow me on Twitter at JShawNicole. All my announcements will be there soon. My Patreon's also linked over there if you want to support me $1 a month.
Oh, how? Monty, closing promotion before we take this thing home?
Visit us at WrestlePurists.com, read a feature, do something else fun over there. Follow us at WrestlePurists on Twitter. And yeah, like, subscribe, drop a comment, all that good stuff. As long as you're interacting with us, we always appreciate it. Yeah.
For the worst wrestlers, we're starting with Mandy Rose, by the way.
Thanks for joining us, folks. This was a pleasure. We hope you enjoyed Dynamite. If you're watching this on delay, we hope it was good. Thanks for joining us, and all hail.